Hi, everybody, and welcome. Ralph Bienorczyk alongside Daniel Chernowski. The host nation, Poland in the white on white, Spain in the maroon on navy. These two teams met earlier in the tournament on the second day of action on 7-11, and that was last Friday, so a week ago. It was 8-4 Poland with the win, and Daniel, we'll see how the two nations, particularly Spain, have evolved since then. As off the face-off, Greg Mažec. And a dominant opening face-off win to start things against Luis Cordurque Ferrer as Mažec picks up where he's left off the last 3 days.
Certainly Poland's been dominant on the face throughout the course of the tournament. They came into this tournament carrying 3 separate face-off men who have alternated as D middies or offensive middies throughout the course of the tournament.
Offensively for Poland, Sebastian Rzeczycki with Sean Brennan. And they'll bring on Maciej Wojcik to run first midfield. They're missing 2 key members of their offense or midfield. Lukas Hutzal with Jan Mikołaj Śmigel and Tyler Borko starting on the attack. Paul Walter Diaz in goal for the Spaniards has had a very good tournament. High save percentage, no softies, and the leadership, particularly as Jose Luis Mendoza, his head coach, has been particularly impressed with when he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he wears this team's pride on his sleeve, as Spain has really found a foundation piece. Hutzal on the game's opening possession. Go through the starters for Spain in a second. Sebastian Rzeczycki on the rollback. Rzeczycki down looking for Hutzal. Walter Diaz with the brief knockdown. The recovery by Śmigel. No shot clock in the international game. In case this is your first game, clock will stop. Final 30 seconds of the first 3 quarters. Śmigel will walk it in front. A failed slide by Spain.
Excellent work there by the Polish team. You could see the player on the wing actually hold the defenseman as Śmigel wisely snuck directly underneath it. I think Spain's going to want to have that one back, and certainly a conversation between the defensive group in regards to the slide.
Śmigel, a patient turn. He's been the ex-attackman all tournament for Poland. A starting D for Spain is missing a key member in Jackson Suarez, hurt yesterday in the loss to Scotland with a shoulder injury, so we wish the native of Dallas very well. Daryl Hunter, Fernando Galinas, Miguel Fernandez Contreras, and the long pole midi, Gustavo Lopez. Face-off win again to Poland with Matthew Till off the wing. And Śmigel races behind and chased by Gustavo Lopez. Score was 8-4 in that game. Poland led 3-1 after one, 4-1 early second, and then their defensive coordinator, Tom McCabe, pulled out a zone, and it was the first time anybody in this tournament has played zone. Poland has probably played 99% of the total zone defense played in this whole tournament that'll be spent over 90 games, and Spain did not adjust well to it. So that's among the subplots to this game. Lukas Hutzal, the throwback. Błażej Pruszek thinks about the shot, frees himself, and scores. 2 quick ones for Poland to start the game.
Some nice ball movement from the Polish team. You can see them play a little 2-on-1 ball there, but they're also better spacing so far out of the Polish team. Worth mentioning, the prior game was played on grass. Here on Field 1, we're playing a little bit of what I would call a blend between field turf and what I would reference as old school AstroTurf. This is actually an improvement over prior years Poland's had here when they hosted the 2022 qualifiers. But players so far seem a little bit more adapted. We did see some slipping and sliding during the prior game we called on this field, but nothing quite like during the rainstorms yesterday.
Mažec rakes it back, and Brennan this time off the wing. 3-0 on faceoffs for Michigan native Greg Mažec. Played his lacrosse at Detroit Mercy, where he had a fine career there and has been an ambassador to that athletics department in his time since graduating 10 years ago.
I've also just noticed that the Polish team is now staying in on faceoffs. This is not something that they were doing early on in the tournament. They were very quickly pulling off the long stick midi and the faceoff man, and frequently they were getting doubled right off the ball there. Now by keeping someone in like Greg, having him send down to the crease, I think it enables a cleaner transition and them to roll right into offense.
Rzeczycki will shoot on the move, and that bouncer wide of Paul Walter Diaz. Poland has had real chances to not be in this position as the 12 seed, playing for 15th place. The last 2 games, ones that they could have had, certainly 2 days ago, a triple overtime loss to Slovakia. Skip pass, Wojcik, and denied there by Paul Walter Diaz. And what an important save that is, having already trailed 2-0, but now a failed clear by the Spaniards.
Nice hustle play there by Tyler Borko, dropping back into the ride, preventing a fast break, and turning the ball right back into Polish hands.
Wojcik gave the shoulder to the D-midi, his feet for Jan Rydzak. Rydzak couldn't locate it. As this ball rolls through, Adam Tomorek defensively with Marcin Trach and Matthew Till, the defenders, and Bart Kanarek, the starting long pole midi, on the ball again. And Spain has started this game playing all defense. Rydzak, a goal yesterday against Wales, drops it off, room, and the pipe hit in close quarters by Tyler Borko.
This is probably the best I've seen the Polish offense look, and it does seem a little bit of an adaptation of something they were working well during the Wales game. They're finding the back pipe now and the players sneaking behind it, and it's very much opened up the offense and prevented early slides on their offensive players.
The clear for Spain as they'll face veteran Christian Zvalewski, who's been part of the Polish national program for 15 years since the 2010 World Championships. Getting the start in the final game here, trying to capture 15th place. For Spain, John Boda on attack with Antonio Marquez Llorente and Griffin Guerin. The midfield with rising high school senior Matt Napolitano, Fernando Martinez Sierra, and Ishmael Erbargi Ramiro. Napolitano gives back for Boda. And Spain may have a more patient set here with all the defense that they've played to open up. And they will back it up. And of note, Daniel, Poland does not come out in a zone look. So they give Spain at least a taste of man-to-man to begin this game.
Now, I don't know if that was due to the change in the ball in transition, but I did notice that the offensive midi Sebastian is now down on the field, but Till has been put on Napolitano. I have to imagine after such a solid performance during the course of this tournament, Poland's seen the tape and wants the long stick midi on him at all times.
And Napolitano is also probably the freshest player. If we did a poll, who is the freshest looking athlete right now on the last day of the tournament? That would be a good one, Daniel. And Matt Napolitano, I think, would get votes. He is running as if it's still game one. He looks for the rollback, takes a jab from Till.
I like the patience by Till and Napolitano at this point. Polish players early on in the tournament got themselves in trouble with throwing one too many of those checks, which just simply...
Oh, what a nice slip pass. Griffin Guerin, almost like a pick and roll, locating Fernando Martinez Sierra, 2-1.
Beautiful heads-up play there as he rolled down, just discovering the man on the crease as he pushed through. Excellent offensive execution and demonstration of patience by Spain.
Both nations are 2-5 in this tournament. And Spain yesterday faced Scotland on their road to get here and lost it 14-8. They got to within 9-6 before Scotland was just a better team in the middle of the field. And talking to Coach Jose Luis Mendoza, they got out-faced off by the combination Aidan Smith and the Scottish face-off man. Did very well, but here is a face-off win off the wing for Spain as it pops up. Luis Cordurque Ferrer. They're trying to change the fortunes of Spain at the X. 14-8 was the final there. They lost Jackson Suarez, an aggressive cover guy too, in the midst of that game to Scotland. 2 games ago, good battle against Switzerland. And Switzerland has been a pleasant surprise in this tournament. They lost 13-8, and Switzerland with a very nice team, not hiding any players. They have a nice mix and a nice ball control offense. Room for Napolitano, and he missed the cage. Switzerland is playing for 11th place later. They were the 10 seed, taking on 13 seeded Slovakia in a game that'll face off in about an hour.
I believe I had an opportunity to watch Switzerland in one of the earlier cups, and again, a well-balanced team, as you pointed out. Another beautiful goal.
No, that's side netting off the face dodge. They're side netting for Antonio Marquez Llorente.
It did look like one nice dodge there, just a little bit off the mark. Again, those are low-angle shots, so a little bit more of a difficulty. But again, I still think Spain looks at a solid possession there. Good minutes. They played a lot of defense. And this is a game of runs, so Spain has the opportunity to put a stop on here and get themselves back on the offense.
Poland able to come up with a successful clear. That is what has hurt them in recent games against solid competition. As Borko gives back, as we see Jan Rydzak. Poland yesterday trailed 4-0 to Wales before they finally got started. And slow starts have been their undoing, while the 12 seed has fallen back trying to play for 15. Borko swings for Pruszek. Schmiegel, yesterday, Poland lost to Wales 10-8, trailed 4-0, tied the game at 8 before Wales was able to break it on a goal by Ben Stringer with 1:24 on the clock, then got a late goal just for posterity as there is Borko. It was a 10-8 final. So 2 heartbreakers for the Poles, triple overtime to Slovakia, where they had the ball the entirety of all 3 overtimes. Room in time, and the shot missed. Pavel Sobol may have been deflected. Backup belongs to Spain. Poland had the ball. The goal was scored by Griffin Schutz of Slovakia, Daniel, with about 30 seconds left in the 3rd overtime. Poland had the ball at the 11.5 minutes, probably 11 minutes of those overtime periods, could not score.
And I was impressed with Slovakia's efficiency on offense, both their ability to move the ball quickly down the field, but also within their sets. Honestly, I think the dominance of Poland was mainly due to their face-off wins. All 3 of those face-off players came out, kept them in the game the entire time. Unfortunately, they were not able to punch through for the team through 3 overtimes.
Feed behind, and looking for the shovel shot. It's off target from Marquez Llorente. He had a good angle.
Do we get a loose ball push here? See a Spanish player on the ground.
It'll stay with Spain. Spain hoping to show a much faster offense, asking Jose Luis Mendoza about what's made him happy in these 2 weeks that they've been together. The offense has much more improved in terms of its flow, its continuity. Is that shot saved by Zvalewski, but the shooter is shaken up. I think that was Griffin Guerin. And it is Guerin. Looks like he is okay. Let's see if they force him to exit if there was an injury stoppage. Yeah, Guerin does have to leave. They stopped play despite Spain having backup. But in any event, is how much they have progressed in terms of faster offense. And then, Daniel, that's the other thing that I think college coaches, these coaches have not been able to change. The defense generally arrives ahead of offenses. And how ready are you to progress offensively and get everybody together?
Excellent defense there by Marcin Wojciech. I think getting his stick on the hands of the offensive player for Spain. The defenses, I think, as they begin to get set up, you can see the offensive continuity despite possible camps and playing together. It just does lag, getting a feel for how they play off one another. I think probably the best offense that I saw out of Poland did come during the Wales game. We've seen the teams that are here, especially the Nordic countries, demonstrate some really excellent spacing. And I think as they develop, those 2 to 3 superior athletes, then kind of take a broken play, they're going to be tough to handle as they go through this process.
Here's Sean Brennan. Poland yesterday had tied the game at 8 and had a possession to try to take the lead against Wales. Schmiegel, one of the 2 goals for Poland. And great pressure, ball pressure being applied. Good job moving his feet by Fernando Galinas, who's had a good tournament. He is one of the many high schoolers, just finished up his high school career. Schmiegel with a rip. I think it never got through. Race for the ball. Brennan gets there. And Brennan has backup before Paul Walter Diaz beat him to the end line.
I like the heady play by Brennan there, opting not to take the ball off a short line, allowing it to roll out, but making sure that the goalie couldn't be closest to the ball in that scenario. It enables them to get the reset and start the offense without any potential turnovers.
Hutzal with 3 and 1 yesterday. All three came at key junctures for Poland. Actually, all three came in the fourth quarter yesterday. Sebastian Zachitsky, the left hand, is off target. Poland yesterday trailed 4-0, got it to 7-3 at halftime. Borko shot well high.
For the defense for Spain here, I think they just need to stick nice and tight, not really worried so much if you're allowing Poland to take the outside shots. You just don't want to give the inside feed or the far pipe, which we've seen really is what allowed Poland to get back in against Wales.
Zachitsky, as he'll get topside, and now a flag is out against Spain. Spain has had the tendency of being chop check happy in this tournament, picking up a lot of fouls, and out goes veteran defenseman Daryl Hunter.
I think that teams with a lot of North American players would benefit from watching a team like Norway or the Netherlands and watching how they essentially just play defense with their feet, using a lot more body position as opposed to slap checks. And in this European style of refereeing, you need to understand that the refs are not going to allow you to have 4 wrap checks on someone. That will draw a penalty.
Poland will have nearly a full man up to open up the second quarter without a face-off. They lead Spain in the second meeting of this 2025 Men's European Lacrosse Championship 2-1 as we head to the second quarter on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. Host nation trying to capture Spain. Both nations 2 and 5 in this tournament, and both coming out of the same group. Poland winning exactly a week ago, 8-4 against Spain. Błażej Pruszek got one of the 2 for Poland. Man up begins with Hunter in the box for Spain. Zachitsky thinks about it and then roofs it. Well, a lot of times you won't see great velocity after the double clutch, but Zachitsky shows it's possible.
I mean, he pinged the top corner on that, and candidly, the coach in me sees a player taking a shot from that outside and flinches, but proving his mettle, excellent both placement and power on that shot.
Man-up goal for Poland. And to beat a tough goalie in Paul Walter Diaz. Now to the face-off X, where Spain won the last one from Luis Cordurque Ferrer, after Majets comfortably won the first 3. And Majets will come away with it again. With a look back for Till. Till has already scored in this tournament. He hits the pipe with the shot. Long rebound that Spain will allow to go out there closest to it.
Heady play by the Spanish attackman to make sure he was out there to maintain possession.
Matt Napolitano, lone goal for Spain. Griffin Guerin, nice slip pass for Fernando Martinez. And Guerin back in the field after leaving the game briefly. End of the first quarter, taking a hit. And Bargi Ramiro, as he tried to take the shot that's off of a Polish player. And that's Matthew Till that is down that took the shot. So he'll receive some medical attention. No, check that. It is not Till. That's Adam Tomorek. And defenseman for Poland, that's down on all fours, trying to recover following the shot.
It appears that Adam took it off of his back based on where they're hitting him with the icy hot. That is quite the stinger down there.
As you watch some highlights, Adam Tomorek is now able to get to his feet, but will have to leave the game due to the injury stoppage. So Poland will bring on Krzysztof Góral. Big and strong, profiling as a defenseman. He spent 1 year in Michigan in high school. Off of last year's under-20 European team for Poland. So Góral is in, 16 in white to replace Tomorek. Guerin outside, and what a goal that is. That's a rope thrown by Ismael Bargi Ramiro. 3-2.
Excellent vision there by the Spanish attackman at X, essentially working his defenseman back and forth to keep his hands free and finding the shooter up at the top.
Griffin Guerin was moved about 4 days ago to attack by the Spain coaching staff after playing midfield. And he was able to create from behind and dish that pass. He's got both assists. Majat still able to get underneath the face-off man of Spain, but a ground ball here for the Spaniards, and Miguel Fernandez Contreras threw it over the top and found his teammate in Cardurque Ferrer. So Spain can look for the tie. Early second quarter in a matchup for 15th place. The host nation, Poland, 18th seeded Spain. Poland is the 12. Now procedure is called. Too many men. Failure to substitute by Spain. And this has been a call that has hung over this tournament, Daniel, like a cloud. A lot of teams have experienced it, maybe not used to having 4 officials.
I do think the presence of a box official has thrown off many teams. You can see Spain attempting to take a soft ride, force Poland to find a gap there, potentially get a midfielder with the ball. I do wonder if they've watched tape, they'll know that Polish goalkeeper has never had a problem running that ball over. They do find Łukasz Hochul, the attackman, who was also an anchor during the Wales game with very similar plays. He would come up from the low position in attack and kind of settle the team down on that clear. We see the big lefty, 81 Sobel for Poland now as they bring in their offensive midfield unit.
Hunter is given the assignment. Hutzal is a physical lefty driving dodger. Pruszek, the D-mini. Now Poland will sub on. Rydzak here. Sobel had a chance to get a good look, but Paul Walter Diaz up to it again. But then his quick outlet is overthrown, however, backed up by Marquez Llorente. As he falls down, we're going to get a whistle and a timeout for Spain. Just as Marquez Llorente was going to be in trouble, Marcin Trach had him in his sights. So a timeout for Spain. It's 3-2 Poland here. And with this being the finale for these teams, talking to Jose Luis Mendoza about this, and there are still many clubs in Spain that play lacrosse. Bilbao with Sevilla, Madrid, Zaragoza, and they hope to put together some sort of a camp in the fall to follow up this tournament. But there's consistent youth lacrosse clinics being held in numerous cities, all those cities that currently have teams, club teams, twice a month. So things are being moved in the right direction, and I think every coach will reflect on this differently. I've heard some that say we're going to really evaluate the film, and some will say, after looking at other nations, we need to reevaluate perhaps the structure of where we are with our offense and maybe starting it from the ground up, just as you said, particularly the Netherlands being such a great example of having so much built-in structure. And I get the feeling that there are some nations thinking about trying to discover an identity, at least offensively.
And I've also noticed that when you intermix these different groups and disciplines of lacrosse, sometimes Slovakia being an example in the Czechs, you can develop an identity that's based around that fast and quick, but there's also, they need to get the reps on the field. And I've just noticed a couple plays by the Spanish attackmen, those are heady plays to recognize the clear when it's in trouble, be the closest to the ball on a shot, or otherwise pick it back up, and the timeout called there. These are the type of things when games get tight, that's the difference between winning or losing by a goal or two.
Spain out of the timeout, preserving the possession. Boda, Adam Tomorek back on after taking that shot in the back. Then Tomorek lays the wood on Fernando Martinez, and a flag is coming out.
Fortunately, I think it was too aggressive of a check coming out there from Poland. That's pretty consistently, if you're leaving a body on the ground with these checks, there's going to be a flag thrown in this tournament.
Spain will go man up, trying to tie the score. Poland got off to a fast start, scoring on their first two possessions and winning the first three faceoffs. So now Guerin will start at least from a midfield spot. Napolitano has been very explosive on the lefty sweep. Room and time for Martinez Sierra, and Zvalewski is there on backup.
I don't think that was the look Spain was looking for on that play. I could see the attackman sneak around there from X. I do think he probably had that look if he was willing to fire the pass instead of the shot.
And with you, Daniel, looked like some of the other Spain players were expecting something else rather than the shot. So Christian Zvalewski down a man after the body check. He can hold the ball. And now they're going to send Bota to try to apply pressure.
Put a little hop and skip and jump as he's coming across the field. I thought at a moment he was coming up lane, but I think he's just trying to game the goalie and defenseman as they bring in the ride.
Marcin Trach will get around the ride. Trach stays across his own end and gets it across to Maciej Wojcik. And Poland executes the ride there. While down a man, we're all even.
Excellent discipline from Poland there. You know, the anxiety can pick up. There's a temptation just to try to run it over, and then you're collapsed upon by the extra man that Spain has. But an excellent job by Trach to sort of slow that down, then ultimately find the midfielder crossing over.
Now Sean Brendan able to invert across. Oh, he had Hutzal. And again, the great stick of Daryl Hunter. All these years out of Philadelphia, played at Swarthmore, high school coach, club coach. He almost baited that pass from Brennan to Hutzal.
Yeah, and Poland's been looking for that specific pass all along. I think that when they're able to hit it, that's exactly the type of offense that they've been extremely successful at, and it's going to free up shooters from the outside. But Spain does a great job of staying in the lanes and challenging it. Opportunity here for them to tie it up.
And a long clearing pass to Tomorek. Put it on the ground. Now the chop check by Till will dislodge it. And a chance for Till to move. So Spain a little deliberate in the clear. And they turn it over. And Poland now trying to get organized in their sub.
A little bit of frustration being expressed by the defenseman Till. Not sure exactly what he was looking for from the Polish attacker midfielders. All the same, successful clear for Poland, and they'll settle into their offense.
Borko got the step, and the shot denied by Walter Diaz. Napolitano defensively. Now look at Walter Diaz hold his toe inside the crease like a first baseman.
I like the stretch out there, maintaining his foot inside so that it would be a penalty if his stick is touched. A little anxious on the pass from the Spanish defenseman. I think they had time. Somewhat of a change, I think, maybe what Spain saw the last time from Poland. We are seeing the attackmen for Poland actually push up on the ride. They were playing it soft in the previous games.
Spain has settled in after giving up an uncontested goal by Schmigel, then Pruszek off of a face dodge, getting himself close to make it 2-0 at the time. And Spain has cleaned it up defensively. Hutzal draws the slide. Borko looks inside for Zhachitsky. That was well read, a telegraph pass stolen by Gustavo Lopez. Good eyes from Lopez, but now a flag is coming out. And this is going to be against Poland off of the turnover, so they compound the mistake by taking a foul, and we'll see Spain go man up again.
Poland has had this problem throughout the tournament, spent, even during the Slovakia game, just too much time in the box. As we've said earlier, this is a specific type of play that the referees are looking for, and if you are throwing a lot of those slap checks, you are going to get a flag.
Guerin from distance, and the block shot to Morik. It popped up on him, and he will play it forward, and a chance for Poland to run down a man. Bouquet on the cut, and then Hutzal regathers and scores on the empty cage.
I actually liked the defensive move there by Spain, almost baiting him to take the early shot there, but Hutzal was up to the challenge, showing his background as a box player with that little extra shake on there to clear the goalie and convert.
You see Paul Walter Diaz expecting the ball to go to Bouquet, who's running the middle as the trail man, except he vacated the cage too early, and great recognition from Lucas Hutzal, essentially baiting him into an empty cage, 4-2.
As we mentioned earlier, this is a game of runs. We'll see if Poland is able to turn this into something more and regain a lead that they had earlier in the competition.
Face-off win again by Majec, uncontested to Till. And Poland matching their largest lead of 2. We'll hit 3 minutes to go, first half on an overcast afternoon in southwest Poland, in Wroclaw, very close to the German and Czechia borders. The weather has been an adventure. We've had perhaps a day and a half of actual legitimate summer weather, Daniel Chernovsky. This is, I guess, fall weather, but fortunately it is not raining because the grass fields took a pounding, and then this turf field really made things difficult for the players to adjust. Brennan! Face dodge hit, 5-2.
A little bit of a hesitation by Brennan just to enable the defender to stop moving his feet, and then a re-acceleration demonstrating his speed and a well-placed shot to the bottom right of the goal. Certainly the rain played factors in the games as we've watched through even on field 1. We had the third field of this competition actually moved today to enable other groups go on there, and it's actually being played with on the same field as the women are holding a festival this week. So I think the organizer of the tournament's adapted quickly. Certainly any grass field is going to take a pounding with 5 days of rain and this many games.
And that's an immaculate grass field that they're playing on that has been barely touched. It's a thicker grass, too, than the other fields. Majec, again, uncontested. And Spain will have to figure out some kind of a counter.
Let's see if Poland could settle back into an offensive set and build upon its lead. I think Spain has done a good job of trying to bait Poland into those cross-creep passes, which they've knocked down.
Pass for Schmiegel. He knocks down. Now gets away from the pressure of Fernando Galinas. And outside for Rydzak to try to dodge. Has Pruszek. They look for the second cutter. Rydzak. And it's eaten up again by Paul Walter Diaz, but the flag is out.
Excellent stop by the keeper. I don't know that the Spanish defenders had much of a choice, but almost to commit a foul with an unclosed shot like that.
It's a 30-second call against Spain.
We're seeing a better set of offense here by Poland as you see the Dodger sweep. You're watching the player adjacent to him cut through and essentially create a wheel, which has created those opportunities. They were not doing that earlier in the tournament. There's just better ball movement from this Polish team during this game today.
Javier Rodriguez into the box. D-Midi with a 30-second push with possession. Penalty time and game clock time just about even. 15 seconds left and getting set to shoot. Wojcik dropped it, recovered. Pass Pruszek, valuable time coming off the clock. Borko will rescue it. 5 seconds to go. Is there time for a quick one? And Poland still with a timeout remaining, and they'll take it here with 4 seconds.
We've previously mentioned in calls during this tournament there are 2 timeouts per half, and you don't carry them over. So Poland takes the opportunity to extend their time on offense, draw up something with 5 seconds. Also worth mentioning during this broadcast is that the clock, which we see, isn't necessarily the time by the refs. So I'm sure that the coaches are now checking with the referees to see if it's 4 seconds, 6 seconds, to find out exactly what they have to work with.
And Poland will have it outside the box. A chance to work on a short time play here. Borko had all of his momentum going to Cage. Well, here is where a set play can be designed. Last night, England had a set play designed before Israel blew that up, and with a chance for England to tie the game in their semifinal. Just great action played through a steady rain in the semifinal. And a look at the highlights with Poland up 5-2. There's the last goal by Sean Brennan. Daniel, especially for the high school players, as we've talked about, what do you think they have gotten from this? I'm anxious to ask some of them, again, as they walk off the field for future broadcasts the rest of this week. Because this is not playing their standard club lacrosse against their peers in their same age group. And you're around, in some cases, older guys with dads, careers, etc. What do you think they've gotten out of this experience?
It's interesting to watch the conversations that take place there. You know, you can find anything ranging from professional and life advice that take place during these periods, but also little idiosyncrasies that you learn from being a KG veteran, especially as you see some of the older players. It's kind of across the board. We've seen, as we mentioned earlier, Greek Scully, just with a wealth of knowledge at his age, and just an understanding of the game, but also just life advice. Just for some of these people, you know, if you're playing Division I or even Division III lacrosse, 5 to 6 days of your week, 2 to 4 hours, that is your life. And that level of training, to maintain that afterwards, this is what the veterans are able to point out to young people, how important it is maybe not to have that beer on your day off because of the dehydration and cramps that take place during 7 games.
Borko for Hutzal. He got a decent look.
That is about as good as a look as you can ask for. Great job. Interesting. I'm not sure if the refs are saying there's still a second on the clock. Okay.
It was going to be backed up by Spain anyway, but what a well-designed play that you would see at various levels. A quick rope over to Hutzal with a bit of a mini down screen here on the wing, and Hutzal got a pretty good look as Poland's top shooter. It's 5-2 Poland. The 12th seed taking on 18th seeded Spain, with the winner capturing 15th place in Wroclaw at the 2025 Men's European Lacrosse Championship. We're back in 10 minutes on World Lacrosse TV and Lax TV.
Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really, really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick.
Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse. We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
We start the third quarter of play between Spain and Poland from Wroclaw. A 5-2 Poland, and this is the most physical and longest scrum we've had off the face-off. Poland still wins it, but perhaps a promising development, Daniel Chernovsky, for Spain.
I thought Spain did an excellent job of tying the ball up there. I'm not sure if he won the clamp, but he did what was needed, which allowed his wings to come in there, essentially fight for the ball. And in those scenarios, quite frankly, you could see the aggressiveness come out, and very dangerous, easy way to pick up a flag and end up with a man up one way or another for these teams.
Poland got off to the best start against some solid competition that they have in this tournament at 2-0. Before that fizzled, it was 2-1 after one. Sean Brennan shot over the top. So if you're Bill McNamara, head coach of Poland, what do you think he told his team at the brink?
I would hope Bill, after the experience earlier in the tournament, is telling his team, don't take the foot off the gas. I think we know this is a game of runs. There will be another run by Spain. It's just bound to happen. It's important that Poland attempts to build on their lead by playing solid lacrosse, does not try to play hero ball, continues to use that spacing that they've had from the first half.
Błażej Pruszek. Brennan from the outside. 2 goals for Sean Brennan. The earlier was a nice face dodge, and this time from distance. And Poland now has built its largest lead at 6-2.
I think Spain just needs to stick with it. If they're able to equalize on the face-off over enough time, they're going to get that opportunity for the run. On defense, I don't think there was a bad defensive stand. It's a tough outside shot. If you're going to be giving up a goal to Poland, that's the type of shot that you want to have happen, as opposed to those earlier looks right next to the cage.
Błażej Pruszek on the assist. He's got 1-1. And another chance for Spain to try to create a scrum against Mažec. And this time getting underneath of, no, they'll call it the other way. I was expecting it to go in the way of Fernando Martinez Sierra.
Not sure, candidly, I'm not sure what the call was from the ref outside from the technical one there, because the Spanish player was on the ground and the Polish face-off man, Greg Marches, was most definitely on top of him as they went through. All the same, Polish ball.
Then if you're head coach Jose Luis Mendoza of Spain, you trailed by 3 at the break. What do you think he told his team then?
I think it's going to be a little bit of a stick-with-it message. They have not played poorly. We're seeing what we need to see from them on the face-off, where they're turning into much more of a scrum, preventing that. And they have not looked poor on defense, and I've liked their offensive sets. I think over enough period of time, they're going to have that run in them. It's just making sure, they force turnovers like this right now, where Poland went on and have a clean clear.
Well,
Clear.
There goes that clean. There goes that idea. Martinez Sierra sends it out of the reach of Griffin Guerin.
It looks like he's limping a little bit. Not, 2 or 3 times I've seen the Spanish players quite literally skip, and it's thrown me off as to whether or not they're just happy to be here or injured.
That came just after Poland turned it over on a pass from Borko, trying to find Sobel.
Sobel out of Poland's Warsaw club. Big lefty there, getting some minutes here in an important tournament. I think this is a great example of sort of the developmental side for Poland, changing up those midfielder lines, getting a kid like Wojciech, who has the ball right now, as well as Pavel Sobel.
Wojciech off the blow-by, has Sobel. Oh, denied by Paul Walter Diaz.
What a great shot by the goalie there. Those are the shots that Poland has begun to convert later in the tournament that were not there when they first started.
Wojciech against Javier Rodriguez. The D-Midi is able to keep possession. Sobel, now a deeper bounce shot. Paul Walter Diaz is among the most active goalies, in my view, out of the 24 teams here. He's not sitting and waiting for the shot to get to him. Schmiegel off the end line. Schmiegel trying to get inside on Carlos Garcia, the other D-Midi. Over the top, Hutzal. Hutzal trying to set up that left hand, and Hunter smelled that and will back it out.
Excellent defensive stand from Spain there.
Schmiegel and for Rydzak. Poland's offense also drastically changing upon losing their top midfielder in terms of dodging and initiation. Matt Dushkevich just finished up his freshman year at Division I Iona. There is Wojcik, and that might be off the knee of Walter Diaz.
Excellent stop by the goalkeeper. Wojcik did a great job with a little shimmy there to get his left hand free. Drove it straight down the alley. The goalkeeper for Spain was up to the challenge.
Sobel on the run.
Just occurred to me that Poland is now rolling out 3 lefties there up at the top. Change of pace from what you might normally see out there. Typically a specialty in many ways.
Spain has yet to have the ball again to open up a quarter. This was the way the game started. Hutzal using some traffic. Swings for Schmiegel. In tight. Walter Diaz, the stop on Borko. And they're going to get a loose ball push against Poland. So Spain makes a long defensive stand.
Excellent work by their goalkeeper. Those were 2 enclosed shots that he prevented. And unfortunate, Spain cannot afford these mistakes on the clear. You know, they want to get that run going. If they're not winning it on the face, it has to be by a solid defensive stand and really capitalizing on these opportunities.
2 failed clears for Spain to open up the quarter. Christian Zvalewski still on in goal. He started. Last 2 games, Poland starting youngster Alex Podolski, who played very well against Wales yesterday and probably had one of the top 5 highlight saves of this tournament.
I think Spain is being a little bit too soft on that ride. They just simply allowed the attackman to come up and take it from the defenseman. It's an opportunity. We've seen these type of turnovers happen, a little bit of panic, especially when you have a guy pinned to the wing versus the center of the field. Nonetheless, Poland here settling in on offense. Brennan back out here on midfield.
Zhachitsky, he'll try to shoot low to high, and Walter Diaz, we got a great look at that sequence right in front of us, Daniel. And Walter Diaz, he just cannot be flustered.
Up to the challenge. Excellent work by the goalkeeper. Let's see if Spain can get this back into a solid clear.
Out of the middle for James Alejandro Bell. But then he turns it over. 3 failed clears. Borko to cage.
A double unfortunate shot there by Borko because there was no backup, so Spain will go back on the clear and will attempt to get a ride. Another change, though, for the Poland team has been much more aggressive on the ride. They're in what I would consider almost a soft 3-man ride to start the tournament and really conceding to some of the better teams the clear. I see now they're really creating pressure. Again, it only takes one pass, a little long, a little short, and you're back in possession.
Nearing 6 minutes to go, Matt Napolitano.
Creates a break here, a little unsettled scenario. Spain wise, I think, to settle it down. They, long defensive stand there. And Napolitano agrees with us as he holds out his hand, telling his teams to keep calm. We've seen some solid offensive sets from Spain. Just becomes important to maintain possession and try to grind through a possession, maybe get a couple shots, even if they're all just possession shots, create pressure on that defense.
El Barque Ramiro, feed into traffic. He had Napolitano. This will be backed up, though, by Antonio Marquez Lorente. First real possession for Spain of the 3rd quarter. And we've played 9 minutes and change.
I do believe one of Spain's defensive midfielders is also playing offense, as I can see. Number 4 for Poland down on the crease playing defense.
They try to set a screen for Napolitano. Till works through it. Napolitano keeps his balance, looks to the back pipe, and it's intercepted. Tomorek knew the pass was coming, and outlet ahead for Sebastian Zachitsky in a 4-on-3. Zachitsky looking down to the point, and Hunter reading the next pass. Darrell Hunter showing immense range. One of just the 3 defenders in a 4-on-3, and he comes up with a pick.
Excellent job by Spain's defense there to kind of bait the look there. Even if they had not raised it back, Spain actually would have had the in the crease call for possession. Just great work on preventing a goal and keeping this game well within reach.
6-2 the score. Spain to spend the timeout here after having just one offensive possession that ended up turned over. So they need some extended time as Jose Luis Mendoza to try to get his team all on the same page and in a flow on offense. This was a 3-2 game. Poland midway through the second quarter, a goal by Hutzal, and then Sean Brennan has scored the last 2. Again, the offense improving over the last 2 weeks for Spain to get here. They have not seen any zone. It's been man-to-man. So I think Spain was certainly expecting that. But, of course, in the chess match of coaching, defensive coordinator Tom McCabe of Poland, after throwing the zone exactly a week ago for 3 quarters that was highly effective, and has not gone to it here.
I do think that's in part because of the success that Poland had against Wales in that man-to-man. I have to think it also threw Spain off, who probably headed into this expecting zone, spent some of their practice time on this, and chalk talk time discussing how to find the spacing. And the other adaptation that I've noticed from the Polish poll so far is they are not throwing those slap checks that picked them up so many penalties early in this tournament. Nonetheless, it's only a 6-2 game, 4-goal differential. I feel that if Spain can settle back into this offense, they've gotten some good looks.
Spain out of the timeout.
I like the spacing out of Spain to open up, sending their cutters down into the lane.
John Boda has been their quarterback at X the entirety of this tournament. This one shoveled along by Fernando Martinez Sierra, and that did not appear to be part of the plan. He got in too deep and then appeared like he didn't have any outlet.
I think that Spain had nice opening space to open up there. One of the players got in deep and just would have been so much better to pull the ball back, reset the set. They're sending cutters through from open space there, and against that man-to-man, they were finding looks earlier on in this game. Again, Spain allowing that attackman to come up on there. We've seen Lucas Hosso do the same on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side. I think as this game goes on, if we head into the fourth, they're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive on that ride. As you mentioned earlier, Poland did struggle on the clear earlier in the tournament. I would be thinking you want to test that a little bit to see whether or not they've truly improved to that level.
Here's Brennan. Also a question of tempo, Daniel. It's this is the last game. Of course, tomorrow there's no lacrosse. Napolitano in the push. Chance to perhaps speed the game up. And that's easier said than done with all these tired legs. Napolitano, except for his backup, will keep it with Spain.
As fast as Napolitano is, Brennan showed that he can keep up with them. Great job preventing a break by Brennan there. Settled back in there. Again, I just want to see Spain open it up, give themselves a nice settled set here. They have played a lot of defense so far.
And that was Guerin to try to shoot, and then staying and rolling that one along the ground, and nearly a sneaky shot by John Boda.
John Boda's really throwing a nice little sneaky look there. I do like that. Nothing really lost there with their man at X. If nothing else, a possession shot.
And Bargi Ramiro unable to turn the corner. Spain still staying within striking distance of Poland, despite their lack of possessions. Their failed clears. Now a shovel shot that almost goes from behind as they manipulate the crease again with Marquez Lorente. It's been a while, Daniel, since we've seen a quality step down from a Spain shooter.
I do think that it's possible in Napolitano, but Poland has consistently put the long stick mini till on him, I think, to prevent exactly that. I do like the possession thus far from Spain, though. That we've had, I think, 4 shots so far we've witnessed during this sequence, and if nothing else, you're wearing down the defense.
Martinez Sierra.
I'm not positive. It does look like they're actually shutting off Napolitano.
Yeah, now I think that's accurate. So that's the latest wrinkle being deployed. Save made by Zvolevsky as he'll heave it ahead and is on target to Schmiegel. So the first face guard put on. Schmiegel to cage. Defensive coordinator Tom McCabe, longtime head coach at Bowdoin College in Maine. He's elected into the school's Hall of Fame. Now a volunteer assistant to the head coach currently, and showing his years of experience and continuing to mix things up. Spain will have one more chance, 35 seconds left in the third quarter. We've had just one goal, and that came early from Sean Brennan of Poland.
Brennan swashing out of the face guard and putting Till on there.
Napolitano fought off by Zvolevsky, and there was a rebound to be had for Javier Garcia Martinez. Poland with a chance to run. Till rumbling, Till from distance. Poland with backup and a whistle with 11 seconds left. Borko high pass, followed up by Hutzal, and Paul Walter Diaz forced to make one more save.
What a wild sequence to end the quarter there. We see at least 2 shots from Poland off of rebounds, and Spain almost getting a shot going the other way. Some excitement heading to close out the quarter.
6-2 Poland, the 12th seed and host nation, battling Spain, the 18th seed, for 15th place. Fourth quarter on the way from Wroclaw. You're watching the Men's European Lacrosse Championship on World Lax TV and Lax TV. Underway in the fourth quarter. No face-off, a flag out against Spain at the end of the third. So Poland's man-up unit has another chance to break this game open. Hutzal swings high for Wojcik, and Wojcik will save it. No, now they'll say the ball went out. An unforced turnover, and Spain continues to hang around. Poland has had plenty of chances to truly push this game up to maybe 6, 7, 8 goals. With their high volume of possessions, Spain went the first 10 minutes having the ball once in the third. But Poland had just one goal to show for it.
The simple effort of just chasing the ball back and forth between the goalie can create turnovers. You just force the defense to prove that they actually can connect that pass back and forth over enough period of times. Just takes one little error and the ball is out of bounds.
Galinas.
I like the stretch pass to the attackman there. We've seen Poland utilize a similar play to clean up their clears.
And Spain will sub on a midfield and get going. Napolitano has been matched up by 48 Matthew Till the whole time. And great respect shown by Poland to the high schooler Napolitano, attending Iona Prep ahead of he's getting ready for his senior year with this great life experience. Martinez Sierra on the D-mini, Patrick Wojcik.
I believe that drew a flag. Wojcik attempted to get the slap check in from behind, probably drew a little bit of the back, and it was in the line of sight of the referee.
Free shot for Spain, but they send the ball out of the box. And that's where I heard some other coaches say you've got to yell that out of keep it in and the leadership aspect. So 1 minute slash on Wojcik of the area of Katowice. 6-2 Poland. They led 5-2 at the half, 2-1 after one.
Terrific opportunity here with Spain using the extra man. Hoping to see some of that spacing. Earlier we saw a similar play. You can see the cutter coming around from Spain. Poland does sniff it out, but whether or not Spain tries to thread that needle or can quickly move the ball around, maybe it's a step down or a cutter again. I like what Spain's doing. The backside, you can see the activity going on there. Poland attempting to bait that pass. That play could go either way.
Fernando Martinez Sierra was open. Napolitano fired the pass in just a little bit off, and that's kind of a microcosm of Spain's afternoon on offense. They would have had a man-up layup there. So Poland still down a man, and the clock churning, approaching 11 and a half to go. Spain sitting back in this clear.
Well, I like patience with 12 minutes, 11:30 to go. I do think with the extra man, it is forfeiting what has been precious offensive opportunities for them. I like that you can watch the Polish players almost coaching one another on the clear. So many technical errors early on in the tournament. The communication is clearly improved across their team.
Brennan against Napolitano. Who's got more left in the tank? Final quarter of this tournament. 7th game in 8 days for Spain. 7th game in 9 days for Poland.
Broken stick on the play. I believe it was Napolitano's.
And you'll also have to head off and be subbed out.
Love his energy level. Him and Brenner, that's a fun battle there. Two similar aged players, roughly probably around 18, with one finishing up high school and the other entering into, I believe, Navy next year.
No, actually, they're both high school 2026s. Oh, bounce shot, Lucas Hutzal. He got the step on the defender, and then as he brushed past him, he freed up his left hand, 7-2.
Excellent work there. Again, most of this has been enabled by Poland stretching out that offense. They got away from it during the tournament, and I think the Wales game was when they really got back to it.
He got inside position on Daryl Hunter. And that's been a fun matchup within the game to watch. Largest lead for Poland.
Worth mentioning, we have seen many teams come back from 5-goal deficits thus far. For Spain, it's not getting impatient, winning at this pace, and then grinding out an offensive possession.
Majec was held up a little bit by Cordorque Ferrer. And Carlos Garcia has it. Spain able to win a faceoff with some help from the wing.
See, little things I see there that again come with experience. The Spanish player probably had a good, I would say, about 10 yards on the defender from Poland as he came in out of the box. You'd like to see a player immediately cut directly to the goal with that advantage, force a play as going back. He always can cycle back into the position. And we see the next player pick up with a similar move. It's just simply create off-ball offense.
Now Martinez Sierra, defended by Till with Napolitano. Maybe he's still looking for a stick. Napolitano breaking a stick, or he's getting at least a rare breather on the bench. And also we see Paul Herrero Sanchez, 19, on the field for the first time. Backup attack.
I believe Napolitano may be in a stick repair mode right now as I see players over by their bags working through.
Then this ball sailed by Javier Garcia Martinez. He was under pressure, trying to get it back to X. And the game just sped up on him. So Poland turns Spain over, and we'll hit 8 minutes left, nursing along a 5-goal lead. Two teams met exactly a week ago. On a grass field, Poland won 8-4, playing stifling zone defense for 3 quarters. That frustrated Spain the whole day. Today it's been Poland's man-to-man, and Matthew Till, who's handling now his man-to-man defense on Matt Napolitano. That's been significant. And Poland has had mostly a clean game in the clear, while Spain has not. And then Spain has struggled at the X against Poland's Greg Majec.
Just an air of calm that you can see from the Polish team on the clear now that did not exist earlier in the tournament. See, they're getting it back up. The middies seem much more organized and aware where they need to be, working with the attackmen to create that back and forth action along the midline to find the openings. About 7 minutes left. I do think Spain will have to begin to press out here, at least to cut into that lead from Poland.
Pruszek now with Rydzak and Wojcik. An entirely homegrown midfield for this possession. Now in goal for Spain, Guillermo Repetto del Peso. He's gotten some action. Not trying to go behind the back, Jan Rydzak. Nice feed from Hutzal. So Paul Walter Diaz is done for the tournament. Hats off to the Spain starter. And he is among the real bright spots that will occur from this 2025 European Championship. For Spain, I think they have found a goalie they can move forward with, as they have lauded his leadership and how much heart he has for this team and to try to raise the level of Spanish lacrosse. Pruszek, he bowled over the defender. Across, beautiful touch pass. Hutzal, they just missed to Rydzak a second ago. Rydzak gets another chance. He's from the nearby Wroclaw vicinity. It's 8-2.
Love the play there. Initiating off the dodge, but quickly spinning the ball with a look into the crease. None of that happens if Poland's not spacing themselves out. Excellent spacing and cutting there from Poland to put in a point-blank shot on the Spanish goaltender. Again, I know a 6-goal lead may seem insurmountable. There's always an opportunity. I think Spain just needs to get settled in on offense.
Majec will win it, this time Tomorek on the wing. And Poland with possession and starting to think about how to manage the rest of this clock and the final minutes of their time here in this tournament.
I imagine Poland's going to use this time sitting on the 6-goal lead to do a little developmental work through. I can see Sobel coming on as one of their younger players. Just get them the minutes, trying to unrelieve the nerves, so to speak. Greg Marget's still on the field right now, taking the opportunity to face off guy looking for a little offensive action, I believe.
Marget's of Livonia, Michigan. Spent his first year at Boston University and a Brother Rice High School. Just turned 30, came in great shape to face off. And a flag is down against Spain with 4.5 left. Well, frustrating second half for Spain. They were very much in the game at 3-2. Well, Poland's defense and face-off game has frustrated them, and it's boiled over here with some additional penalties. You saw the emotion on some of the teams that finished up already. I think there's 3 games that have already gone final today on this last full day of action. So 6 teams basically finished up, and the emotional capital that has been spent by the teams walking off for the final time together and realizing the journey that it was, that this doesn't get started even a few months before. At times, this is a year and a half in the making. Feed in for Hutzal. And Zrachitsky will pick it up. 6-on-5 remains, and the man up for Poland on the 1-minute slash. Borko for one more look, and Repetto the stop. It'll go out and stay with Poland. Oftentimes you're going to see pictures being taken after these games, and with the players realizing no matter what the record was, it was a long road to get here in preparation.
Similar to Olympics or any world games in a sport, these 2 years and 4-year gaps in between these tournaments kind of sets in that that's it for many of these players. It may be the last time that they have an opportunity to be on the field representing the white and red for Poland. Or, when I look at Spain, I think I see a younger team. I think it's a bright future for them. We've seen some promising moves here. I think it's just continuing to develop their talent base.
Borko gets in, and Repetto Del Peso makes the save. Borko, I think, is in the crease, and it'll go back to Spain. Tyler Borko, maybe his final time representing Poland and where life takes players from Atlanta. 10 years out of high school. He's a medical student at Midwestern University, Arizona College of Osteopathic Medicine. Also represented Poland at the ELAX Festival last year. And you just never know. With this result, Poland will also qualify to be from the teams that are going to finish 8 through 21 here in this tournament for the Division II World Lacrosse Tournament that will be held at a time and place to be determined sometime in the year 2027. As Zvilevsky, one of those veterans, off for Schmiegel.
A wise move by World Lacrosse bifurcating this out. Japan expected to be expensive for many of the clubs, and in the past we have seen some of these clubs drop out by hosting something that's maybe a little at a lower cost location, or just simply providing the opportunity to both gives these teams a chance to develop, continue to play for rankings. There's so much enthusiasm around the sport right now with Olympics a mere 3 years away. I like them continuing that work.
Sobel against Napolitano, who's back on the field. And Poland is going to bring on Alex Bodowski here looking for a goal.
Oh,
he's got it! Borko feeding Alex Bodowski. They sneak him on to make it 9-2 and provide the capper. He started in goal and played there the last 2 days. His first time on the field as an attackman. They didn't know what was coming.
I have to say that is a unique way to get the goalie goal. First time I have seen him with anything other than a goal stick during this tournament, and he comes in craftily directly to the crease. And again, this is what was missing from Poland's game up really, I think, to the Wales game. That consistent focus on finding the man in the crease and therefore forcing players to stay on the cutters, which opens up the remainder of the game. And honestly, the best teams of the tournament, that is what we've consistently seen. I think we're going to get too many. There's got to be a technical goal. Poland has a player running on and off. Ref opts not to throw a flag on that. Just let the game finish out with 45 seconds. Poland clearly emptying out their bench, trying to get players onto the field. Spain, I think, wants to have one last feel-good goal before they close out this tournament. That's the look we were saying they need to have there, that far post feed that they complete there. And as they've had all throughout this game, just a mark off. Not bad, just the little variance, a thrown out pass here to keep it close. It's hard to judge a game towards the end, but they get the goal. Feel good for the Spanish players. You want them to end on a high note.
That cut came for Fernando Martinez, who is either spent or shaken up. And he got the pass quickly from Antonio Marquez Llorente off of the whistle. And they check on him as now Martinez Sierra, and he may be injured now off camera as he is walking off, getting some help on his left leg, and you hate to see that. 9-3, that ends a 6-goal run for Poland, and this may end up as our final score with 22 seconds remaining. And he's now walking, trying to put some weight on maybe that left leg to the left side of your picture. Spain ends a long run of scoreless lacrosse. That might be their only goal of the second half, and they scored early in the second quarter. So in the vicinity of 40 minutes of scoreless lacrosse for Spain. Majic for the final face-off for Poland and Spain of this championship. Maybe one more look for Spain. Paul Herrero Sanchez, the ball thrown out with 6 seconds to go. And that'll be all. Poland is going to finish 3-5 in this tournament. Spain 2-6. 2 of Poland's 3 wins will be over Spain. The host nation is finished here in Wroclaw. Poland captures 15th place. They close out Spain with a tremendous defensive effort, 9-3. This is their best defensive performance of the tournament as they celebrate and form on the field for the final time. Poland finishing up 3-5 in Wrocław, 2-6 for Spain. Sean Brennan with a key goal at the end of the second quarter. The lone goal in the third quarter, he finished with 2. Lucas Hutzal, 2 goals and 1 assist. Błażej Pruszek, 1 goal and 1 assist among the leaders. And yet another team that begins thinking about the future and the satisfaction of this journey to get here today. 9-3 is the final.
I don't think any reason for Spain to have their head down after this. They've demonstrated that there's speed and talent on their team. It just, as we've talked about in other games, needs a little bit more development and refinement, and I think they're going to have a bright future. And I think for Poland, it's probably a little bit of a transition period. Even this year's team, I can see some new younger players on. Some of the cagey old veterans will begin to migrate off, and we get to see what they're able to bring back sometime in the next year or two as we enter into the next round of international ball.
9-3 is our final. That'll do it for this one. Poland, the 12th seed, defeats 18-seeded Spain, 9-3. Poland captures 15th place at the 2025 Men's European Lacrosse Championship. For our entire crew, for Daniel Chernovsky, my name is Ralph Binarczyk saying so long, and thank you for watching our coverage on World Lacrosse TV and Lax TV.
Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really, really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick.
Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse. We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
With number 15, Paul Walter from Spain. Paul, you played almost every minute for your team here. What kind of passion bleeds for Spanish lacrosse?
I mean, I grew up part of my family's from Spain. I love being able to wear the colors regardless of what sport it is awesome, and being able to represent my family is great. I've been playing for a long time, and it's been 4 or 5 years now playing with Spain, and I love it. It's a family.
Now, this tournament has been a learning experience for you guys. You played a lot of tough games. What do you think the biggest takeaway that Spain lacrosse can take out of Poland is?
I think we need to get to know each other better, and once we come together as a team, I think we'll be a very high level group.
I know you got people at home watching. You want to take a chance to say something?
Yeah, I'll shout out my mom, viendo en Málaga. I love you. And that's it. Yeah.
One more time. Paul Walter from Spain as they claim 16th place here at the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championships.
I'm here with number 23, Sean Brennan from Poland after a big win in their last game against Spain. 8 days of lacrosse, it's a lot. You're a young player going into high school, senior year of high school. So what was this experience like for you?
I mean, this was an incredible experience. I'm just so fortunate to be here with such a great group of guys. And representing your country is just, it's the greatest thing you can do. It's such an honor to be here in such an incredible venue.
So your grandma lives in Poland, your mom is Polish, they're both here watching you today. And how does it make you feel to be representing your heritage, especially having it in Wroclaw, Poland?
It means everything. It's so great to have my family here and got to see a lot of them after the game. And, that's what it's all about, is getting to see your family that you don't get to see all the time. And, it's really special.
Thank you. That's Sean Brennan from Team Poland, finishing out with a win against Spain in the European Men's Lacrosse Championships 2025.